What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledPeople. Alright, this story's called Lady Told Me That Speaking Another Language is Satanic. I joined Reddit just to post this after my cousin told me I should. For this story to make sense, you'll need some background information. I'm half Italian and half British. I have the very stereotypical large Italian nose and eyes with tan skin, so I stand out among my pale friends. I am fluent in Italian, and I prefer talking in it to my mum, Nona, and cousins. I can be very loud even without trying. I'm just a teenage foghorn waltzing around with t-shirts all year round. Trust me, this is important to later. I'm walking home from school with two of my friends, who I will give them the fake names of Becky and Claire. Becky stops to do her shoelaces, and me and Claire just stand there waiting at a corner of a busy road where lots of other schools are. I get a phone call from my mom that I answer as I'm waiting, and I start speaking Italian. Meet entitled mother. She's pushing a pram with a baby in it, and she has a daughter who looks around 5 playing with a phone and just filming birds in the sky. I'm talking about how I'm about to go to the park with my friends. Say that to my face! Confused as frick, I didn't think she was talking to me, so I continue to talk on the phone. Young lady, I will not take this disrespect! Now, I can be very sarcastic and aggressive at times, and I can just be snappy without meaning to. Becky knows when I'm about to go full-on beast mode, and she knew immediately that I would need to be calmed down. Well, what? You can't say that! Say what? You can't go around speaking that satanic language! I'm in a bad mood and obviously irritated. What? Italian? Sorry, but I have all the rights to speak whatever language I want. My mom was confused and asked me what was going on. I hung up on her. This bimbo was gonna get her fair share of fists and cuss words at the rate we were going. Hey, maybe we should get going. Oh, shut up, you freaking lesbian freak! This lady assumed she was lesbian just because she had short hair. She's pan. Whoa! Calm the cuss hounds. I nod towards her child. You're setting a bad example. You don't dare tell me how I look after my child, you devil! Mom, can we go home? I'm sleepy. What this lady did next shocked me. She started screaming at this child, cuss words and insults, saying how she wanted her to get out a baby eaten, but had to keep her. She then realized that a nice swarm of people had started to gather around us. She turns very, very pale. She knew that she messed up. These lesbian freaks were trying to touch my child! Someone call the police! 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 At this point, Claire was calming her kid down while entitled mother is pointing at her, screaming kid diddler at the top of her lungs. She then snatched her kid away from Claire and looked like she was about to slap her before the hero of the story comes in. Everyone, I want you to meet my brother. A replica of me, just someone thought making the 14-year-old 6 feet tall was a good idea. I love him, but neither of us will admit it face to face. Love you, bro. He must have heard me yelling at this lady, and so he came to see what was going on. We walk the same way back from school and try to pretend we don't know each other. He is a foghorn on steroids, if it's possible, and when he asks me what the actual hell is happening, it feels like someone just turned on a washing machine on full throttle as the ground feels like it's vibrating. Entitled mother is very short, so this beast of a teen is intimidating. Let's just say she ran, or jogged. My bro looked at me and raised an eyebrow saying, "Want me to hunt that woman down?" To which I nod. If only I had popcorn, because that made my day. It only took my brother less than 10 seconds to catch this woman and get her in a Nelson on the floor. You may be asking, what about her children? Well, her daughter had a good time filming her mom getting obliterated. She was cute. Her name was Abby. I make new friends every day. Part 2. Whoa, Reddit, you really want to know what happened next? I'm flattered. Before I continue, I just want to say that where I live in the UK, it's common to get something that we call gammons. White, racist, homophobic people. So they're kind of like a British equivalent to a carrot. Karen. This lady was one, and it explains her behavior. Next, about my brother getting the lady. As much as I wish he did, he didn't falcon punch her and start kicking her. If I have to explain this, then I will. He grabbed her arms and held her on the floor, so somebody called the police. This isn't as interesting as part 1, but people wanted a sequel, so around 10 minutes later, a police car rolls over and they ask to interview entitled mother first. Then they pull my brother over and talk to him. Never seen him so serious before, so I had to laugh. Before another car pulls over to make sure the lady won't be making a second attempt to escape. I was called over and it went like this.
Hello, can I have your full name and age?
I'm OP and I'm 123,423 years old. That's not true, obviously.
Do you have your parents' phone number and house address?
Can
you explain to me what happened?
After telling him, he gives me a nod and calls Claire over, then Becky and 3 witnesses, etc., etc. He calls the other cops over and they had a short discussion before turning back and saying,
"You can go home. If we have any questions, we'll call your parents."
So that was it. Entitled mother, Abby, and her baby were loaded in the car and they drove off to I have no clue, presumably a police station. I told everyone at home what happened. They told me to stay out of it and that they would handle this. So I have no clue on what happened to entitled mother, but to leave this at a happy ending, let's say Alcatraz was reopened and now she has a life sentence. Merry Christmas, everyone! You know what's funny? You know anyone says, or everyone says that, you know, taking like an iPhone back to the 1700s would get you like freaking murdered like instantly due to people thinking it's witchcraft, because science or technology we don't yet understand is like indistinguishable from magic. So Karen here didn't understand that, you know, people speak other languages, and just because this language is too foreign for you to understand doesn't mean it's like some sort of witchcraft bullcrap. Ugh. Alright, this story's called Entitled Uncle Wants My Great-Grandmother's House When He Isn't Related by Blood. I'm 17 and this is still going on. On May 19th of this year, I was 17 at that time, my great-grandmother, I'm calling her Mema from this point on, Mima, there we go, Mema, from this point on, died from colon cancer. Now, a little backstory before we hop into the actual story. Mima was in and out of the hospital a lot, and because of anxiety, I couldn't visit often, and whenever I did, it felt like I couldn't breathe, and it made it hard to just talk to her because I was so nervous. My uncle never visited her in the hospital, not once, while I, having the same issue he claimed to have, made the effort to visit her. He barely ever visited the house either, and that just makes me even more peeved with the whole situation. My mom, on the other hand, was always there for Mima. She took care of her, got her meds, made sure she was up and going, made sure she ate something, all of this on top of taking care of me, going to school, and working as a nurse. My mom worked hard to help Mima in any way she knew how, while my uncle barely ever visited and never helped out at all. Now here's some things that happened that my uncle made no effort to help with. Mima lost her leg, got multiple infections, had multiple strokes, broke her hip, etc. Then Mima stayed at home during the whole process, and everyone who lived with her, me and my parents, watched as she went from the most independent person and going around and doing things to having to stay in bed, needing oxygen, forgetting things, being unable to talk. This went on till 4 a.m. on May 19th. Me and my mom watched her die right in front of us. My uncle never showed up that day. Mima asked to be cremated, and he kept her ashes from us. I was livid, but didn't speak up and left everything to my mom. We got them, thankfully, but another thing Mima wanted for us was to fix up the current house and pay off the air conditioning fee. We had to replace our old one. My uncle wanted none of that and just wanted the money. He must have thought she was rich, and that is bullcrap. Mima worked at Walmart for 20 years. The money she had before went to help pay off his father's medical bills. I'm saying his because my grandma, Mima's daughter, was from a different marriage, and really they weren't married and they never had kids together. He claims that she's my mom, when really she wasn't. There's no adoption papers, they weren't married, nor was he by blood. That went to my grandma, my mom, and me. We were her only living blood relatives. So now there is legal action happening. He's keeping the money he already cashed in while my grandma's getting the house, and we plan on fixing it up and selling it, just as she wanted. Well, that's my only story of an entitled person. I honestly hope you enjoy this. Have a nice day/night. Bye. Edit. My mom already has a lawyer and is fighting this currently. However, one thing I didn't mention was the fact that Mima changed the will to what's currently being fought against. Red flags. 1. She wasn't of sound mind and was starting to forget things and zoning out during the change. 2. My uncle took her out to eat. My mom, my dad, nor I were there to overhear what was said. 3. My mom asked Mima why she changed the will. She said, "Because I felt bad for leaving them out." Basically, she admitted to being guilt-tripped. Absolutely despicable behavior. I swear to God, as soon as someone dies, like, the freaking jackals come out, man. Freaking scavengers, pests. Who does that? Who loses a relative and is like, "Ooh, opportunity for money"? People without hearts. People who have hearts made of farts. But not even a regular fart, a cold fart, because at least a fart has some warmth. Alright, this story is called Father-in-Law Needs to Be in Charge or He'll Force Cooperation. I'm on mobile, sorry about formatting. Also, if there are really long sentences, it's mostly because I'm ranting because I'm furious. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. My husband is the oldest of 9 kids. His dad is a butthole to all of them and absolutely hates being talked back to or having you show any amount of spine whatsoever. He hates me the most. I am one of 3 of his in-laws. I have 1 sister-in-law and 1 brother-in-law. And I am the one most likely to voice my opinion, and he hates it so very much. The only reason he tolerates me is because his wife loves her first grandchild, my dear daughter. Recently, they have made the decision to sell my husband's 24 male childhood home and move way, like other side of the country away. On to the story. As everyone knows by now, Christmas is this Friday. My newest sister-in-law, sweetest, gentlest woman I've ever met, and my husband's brother recently bought their first home, so they offered to host since my mother-in-law and father-in-law no longer have a home. Yep, that's right. They sold theirs without having a place to live, despite having 5 kids, the youngest being 5 years old. So the day after Thanksgiving, my sister-in-law makes a group chat with everyone in it, giving us an itinerary for December 25th and 26th. Everything from who's cooking lunch and dinner, when we're opening presents, when to do carols, etc. It even had a list of people and who they were supposed to buy gifts for. It was gorgeous and took her a while because there's a lot to plan and she's very newly pregnant. My father-in-law on Monday contacted them and told them he has decided that he, his wife, and the 5 kids were gonna go look at houses and maybe visit a couple of his friends on Christmas Day instead. People have already bought gifts, including gifts for the White Elephant game. Instead, however, because he couldn't host at his house, meaning he wouldn't be able to boss his kids around because not his house, not his rules, literally he said this, then he's changed his mind and they aren't coming. 4 days before everything is supposed to happen. 4! So today, the 5 of us that are going to be there had to figure out and rearrange everything that's gonna happen because he decided to be selfish and, of course, wait till the last minute to tell people they weren't going to be there. I didn't even know people like this existed. And now, just, oh my god, how ridiculous and selfish can you be? Update. First off, oh my god, Nawar, thank you so much. Second off, I hate the fact that there's an update, but with my father-in-law, you just never know. So today, a few hours before my husband and I are supposed to leave, we get a text from his brother, the host.
So plans have once again changed last minute. Seems like looking at the houses plan has fallen through.
Well, no crap, cause who's gonna show houses on Christmas?
I guess the easiest thing to do would be to go back to the old name draw for parents, but we We've already switched who we're giving gifts to though, and probably already bought the gifts. If it doesn't work to go back to the original list, please let me know as soon as possible and we'll try to work something out.
Like, really now? You want in on Christmas just cause your plans fell through?
No.
I quickly sent a message back to the chat my father-in-law was in, stating we could go back to the original list. We already had those gifts picked out, but the new gifts for the new names are wrapped, so those people are getting double presents. Might have been a butthole move, but it's 2 a.m. and I'm hormonal and pissed and kinda want him to know that he'd get one present while some got two. Nice petty revenge. I don't like people like that though. The father-in-law, it is selfish, man, and they think everything revolves around them. And, you know, just acting like that, especially with family, gets you nowhere, man. Just a lot of negativity. Alright, this story's called Before I Knew She Was a Karen.
Back in the 90s, I was in a very famous TV show.
Whoops, that's not right.
Back in the 90s, I
Worked as a customer service clerk at a national grocery store close to university that drew an eclectic group of shoppers, to say the least. Anyway, entitled customer was a regular customer that was well known to all of us in the front of the store. She was demanding and rarely wanted to wait in line. One day, early in the morning, she came up for the counter with a plastic 2-liter bottle of Coke and wanted a knife to cut the coupon off the side of it. First of all, I told her the coupon is for Sprite and cannot be used for Coke. And second, I don't think it's a good idea to cut the coupon off the bottle. She demanded a knife, but I gave her scissors because that is all I had. She proceeds to lay the full plastic bottle down and starts cutting into the side of it. As I stand there watching her, she finally cut through the outside wrapper and, lo and behold, through the plastic bottle itself. A fast geyser of cola sprayed her in the face as I stood and stared in disbelief. As she stood there, she said, "Don't just stand there! Give me a towel!" I turned around and got one and handed it to her and turned around and went to the back room where I hid myself and cried with laughter. I didn't see too much of entitled customer after that. I think she hid from me. Oh, that's funny. That makes me happy. Ooh. I love it when someone does something stupid despite you warning them, and the very thing that you warned them about happens. And then all of a sudden you're a jerk because you didn't do anything to prevent it. You know what? I'm okay with it too. Because at least I get to laugh at people doing some dumb stuff.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.